everybody. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, February 24th. Hey, before we get too far, I wanted to send a congratulations to our pro staffer, our family member, Tracy Robinson, and his son, Dustin, for their big win up at the Alabama Bass Trail Opener in the Northern Division on Pickwick Lake. 28.18 pounds. Those two boys put a hurting on them. We're proud of you. We appreciate everything that you do for Bucks Island. Right now, what we're going to do is check in with some of our other pro staffers. We're going to talk to Tom, Lee, Josh, and Gentry. Find out how we might be able to help you put a few more fish in your boat. May not be 28.18, but you never know. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, February 24th. We got our man Lee Pitts on the water today. He's probably out there putting some clients on some of them slabs. Let's talk Weiss Lake real quick. Tell me what's going on up there, Lee.
You know, Weiss is still a little bit tough right now. We've had some weather issues this week, and luckily I think things are starting to finally turn a little bit. We're starting to see more fish coming into these bays, and that's what we're looking for. You know, we want these fish to start coming in off that river and getting ready to do their thing. Still laying real deep on the crappie aspect of it. Seeing a lot of fish holding tight to the bottom. They're starting to bunch up. A lot of short strikes right now. I'm having to play with not only some with my Bobby Garland baits, but some of that slab jam, putting it on there, give them a little something extra to hold on to. So it's picking up. It's looking a little bit better. Things are starting to move. So we're hoping it's any day now. Things are going to bust wide open.
What about the bass bite at Weiss Lake? What's happening there?
We had a tournament last Saturday here, and like I said, we had some of the same weather all around. You know, it was a little rough, a little windy, but 18 pounds won. That's a good stringer of fish, but it really fell off from there. Yep. I think a lot of guys are still jerk bait, throwing a square bill, getting a little bit of a spinnerbait bite, but things have been tough. I talked to a lot of the guys that are normally really good sticks here on Weiss. One bite, two bites. You know, just struggling. I think it's one of those things, if you could find a little protected place, hard bottoms, looking at some rock, something like that. Not many fish were caught off wood. It's one of those hard clay bottoms, rocky points, long tapering points, things like that. So the bass bite's still been a little tough also.
What about Neely Henry in our last minute? Let's talk about that. What's the bass bite like at Neely?
Neely, from everybody I've talked to, it's a little bit better there. You know, Neely just being that typical river system, fishing the mouths of some of these little pockets, getting down on some of the eddy places, the bends in the river, catching some spots. You know, the spotted bass bite has been a little bit better on Neely. Largemouth still a little bit tough right now, but it just depends. If you land on the right place, you know, you can get heavy pretty quick, and I think that's been the key to it. If you get those 2-3 good bites early or 2-3 good bites in a row, then you can scatter around and cover some water and catch some other fish. But the bass bite is still, like I said, we're days away from it just exploding.
And the crappie bite's probably not too far behind, just like Weiss Lake, wanting to get there but not quite there. Lee, brother, I appreciate everything, man. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, guys. Talk to you next week.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, February the 24th. Hey, excuse the wind noise behind us, but we got Josh Heron on the water on Lay Lake. Josh, we got the Coosa River Team Trail there Saturday. What's going on?
Man, it is the land of have and have-nots at the moment. It's if you have them, it is glorious. If you don't, embrace the grind. It's gonna suck. But dude, they're a long way from everywhere right now. Surface temps 52. Saturday was like an epic largemouth beatdown here, and then Sunday it was right back to the world of the live scopers dominating. So it is it's still day to day, hour to hour. Everybody I talked to that caught them last weekend really good. They did it in really short time windows, and everybody else, they just said it was just a painful grind. So I think it's a zip code deal right now. You just got to find out where they live, and I've been out here all morning. I haven't found where they live yet.
Are they just completely scattered, or are you able to find some here and there?
No, I mean, you can find some here and there right now. It's going to be kind of like, kind of the same deal Lee was talking about. spots are kind of keying up on these hard spot places. Getting up here thinking about doing their thing. They can feel it coming. And man, I'm not real sure what the largemouth are doing at the moment. I think they are just they're kind of laid off the front of a lot of these big grass mats, and they're suspending and sunning and warming those eggs up and everything else when conditions are conducive to it. And outside of that,
Yeah.
they're just foul mooded.
Let's go to Logan Martin in our last minute. What do you got going on there? It's the same river system. Things are probably similar.
Yeah, no, I mean Logan's similar, just minus the grass factor. But I mean, right now Logan is probably a more consistent bite than Lay. You got you got a lot of clay,
Okay.
a lot of red clay that's holding heat, rock, stuff like that in the back of these flat pockets, and that's where you need to concentrate your efforts probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
How far off are we from, the big fish really starting to move on all these places? Is it just a week or is it a little bit more?
Man, we need some water temp, some sun, and these days to get a little bit longer. And probably our next moon phase, we ought to be beating on the door of it.
Sounds good, brother. Appreciate it. Have fun out there. Kill them on the weekend. We appreciate it.
See you, boys.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, February 24th. Hey, we got Gentry Gordy on the phone right now. He's going to talk a little bit of fishing down in his neck of the woods. Gentry, let's start at Jordan Lake. I know you guys had the ABT champion or ABT opener down there for the Southern Division not too long ago. How's that going at the lake right now?
Dano, these warm days, it's really busting wide open. I would tell you if the water was clear to have your sunglasses on, but I think you're starting to see a big push of your big females that's going to start heading to the bank. I mean, we saw them there 2 weeks ago, and it's progressively gotten warmer. The nights are getting cool, but the days are getting warm, and it's just that internal clock on these fish. Look shallow, your chatterbaits, your square bills. It's just that time of year, but man, you better have your eyes peeled because they're pushing up.
That's always a good time of the year. Are you going with red colors still, or are you starting to turn towards shads?
No, I predominantly red, just given the watercolor and the time of the year. But I always, to me, this time of year, fish see so much red. I always have a shad colored square, flat sided square bill or chatterbait tied on just to mix it up. But I'm going to reach for the red first.
Yeah. All right. Let's turn our attention to Martin. I know that the fish have been kind of on those brush piles out there. Have they started to move yet?
Yes. The water is dirty. Blue Creek is, the Blue Creek area, it's not green, but it's not, it's not orange. It's got like the perfect stain to it. You get into some places, people know it's like the Church Slough and Sandy and, it's dirty. It's real dirty, but it's good. And it's a lot of the same. Your red square bills. You can get some wind blowing. Your spinner bait. You're right up on the bait. These fish are laying, and you're starting to see your better largemouth up in 2 foot of water. They get around those floating docks with the black plastic that heat up. I'm going to Martin. Yep. I'm not looking no deeper than 10 foot right now.
So the water's a little too dirty for jerk baits. Maybe a little too dirty for Alabama rigs. So it's power fishing time.
Yeah. Now, like I said, Blue Creek area, absolutely. Jerkbait, Alabama rig, all that plays. But, given the weather, and I'm finding dirty water, and I'm getting shallow. It's just that time.
Well, you do love that shallow bite. Gentry, thanks for the time, brother. We appreciate everything. We'll talk to you again next week.
Okay, guys. Appreciate it.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, February 24th. Hey, we got Tom Ott here on the line with us. He is going to give us all the details about Guntersville. Tom, what's happening on the Big Lake?
Man, I'm telling you, Dano, I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but the lake is fishing really, really good. Just lots of fish are being caught. 3-4 pounders are kind of the norm. I think I've seen a few guide reports too talking about, 20-pound bags. And it kind of takes me back to a few years ago when, a 20-pound sack at a tournament got you a pat on the back and an attaboy kind of deal. So, these fish are continuing to move up. Shallow, they're moving out, still in those intermediate depths, but just depending on really this prevailing south wind, a little bit warmer days, these fish are kind of starting to make that real good push into that shallow water. I'm talking 3-4 foot of water, but this past week, I think the trap has really started to catch the better fish over the chatterbait. We had a little bit of stain there, and that kind of curtailed the A-rig bite, but I even think that's going to be back. So I would definitely have both of those tied on. And just depending upon what kind of water clarity you're looking at, whether you're going to tie on that red one or whether you're going to look at something a little more natural patterned.
Yeah, I think a little bit dirtier water, although this time of the year you just tend to feed on the aggression of the fish and kind of go with that real red color anyway, bright oranges, that kind of thing. Have you started looking at bluegill type patterns yet? Are we into that
I really
place
haven't.
yet where they're going to be aggressive about that?
That always comes on a little bit later, but right now the crappie are starting to move really shallow. Some of these big bass are going to feed on some of those crappie as well, and of course the crappie are pretty aggressive, so they're going to feed on anything smaller than they are as well. But I mean, as far as you getting up into the shallows, really haven't kind of delved into that, and I'm talking where you're throwing, maybe a swim jig or some kind of swim bait, spinner baits, things like that. Still been out on the river channel, fishing a lot of bellies, ditches, drains, things of that nature that are leading into the spawning flats. Those just seem to be more high percentage right now. But you know how spring is. That could change in just a matter of a couple of days.
Tom, we appreciate everything, brother. We will talk to you again next week.
Hey, guys, I appreciate it. Just a quick shout out to the East Limestone High School fishing team. Had me over there, let me do a little guest speaking and talk, just run my mouth a little bit. But I really appreciate those guys. Good luck when they're over at Guntersville here in a couple of weeks. And tight lines to everybody. Be safe out there.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for this week. Thanks to the guys for everything that they do, helping us put a few fish in the boat. Don't forget, it's season time. The fishing's starting to heat up. Tournaments are happening. You're looking for that boat, come see Katie and everybody in the sales department. If you're looking to keep yours moving and shaking, come see us in the service or the parts department. Of course, if you're looking for that tackle that'll swing them over the gunnels and put them in the live wells, go see Colin and Jamie upstairs in the loft. We're here to help you at Bucks Island. Still in our winter hours, but we'll be getting ready to turn to our season hours pretty soon. Come see us Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturdays, 8 to noon. Thanks for being a part of Bucks Island. You are the best part of us, and we appreciate you.